Welcome to our live Q&A, and this is really your opportunity during which you can ask us questions. You can consult. Okay, it's coming up. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys have been able to see anything what happened so far. Okay, maybe we can start the transmission again. So it's started. Okay, right. So welcome to our podcast and our live YouTube session, which is really an opportunity for you guys to ask me as many questions as you can in these particular sessions, and then really bring me those difficult questions that you're facing, because the whole purpose of this particular channel is to level out the playing field. Level out the playing field in a way so that, because we want to bridge the knowledge, we want to bridge the gap, right, between the most knowledgeable one and between the least knowledgeable one. I come with a wealth of 20 years of investment banking experience. I have worked as a hedge fund trader for Bank of New York Mellon, equity trading with Bank of America, guest lectured at London School of Economics. I write for Forbes, Wall Street Journal, and then do TV. In fact, just before this particular broadcast, we were on a TV, and the link of that one will go on a YouTube. So the question, and we will answer your questions as they come along. So the biggest question really right now I wanted to answer that one is that what is happening in relation to Bitcoin. But we wanted to build up on our session what we discussed yesterday. What we discussed yesterday was the sell-off in Bitcoin prices when it was trading in around that 73 to 74,000 price level. And this was really a price level for Bitcoin that we discussed back in November. Team and I, we put the video up and we talked about this particular price level, that Bitcoin prices can actually go to these particular levels. Bitcoin prices can touch those particular levels. This is back in November. Why that was possible and what can really make that possible, please go watch the live session as of yesterday, where I have gone in a lot more detail of that one. But in this particular one, we're just going to touch on a broader basis. And the broader basis were because one of the Trump effect started to fade, meaning when Trump used to say positive things about Bitcoin, Bitcoin used to move massively. Back in November, we started to see that one. And at the same time, we also started to experience more of a Bitcoin outflow at the same time as well. So we were seeing more people selling in terms of a BlackRock and everyone else. So that was again another negative point that we were looking at it, and we were saying that, okay, you know what, this can potentially happen. And potentially means like, you know, we could actually see Bitcoin prices going towards that 73,000 price level. And then that's what pretty much happened now. Now, yesterday we discussed that the prices can actually go even more lower. Prices can go towards that 68,000 price level. It can break below 70,000 price level, which it did. And then in fact, the prices went to 66,800 approximately, around that. The next important psychological support in terms of a Bitcoin sits at 65,000 price level. Now, the question which comes naturally to mind is that how low, first of all, this is what I will always do. We are from its all-time high. We are approximately 50% gains have been shaved off, pretty much so, okay, in terms of a Bitcoin prices. 50% gains are off. So then the natural question number two, which comes to your head is that, okay, has that happened before? I mean, like if you bought Bitcoin last year, then probably you have not experienced the previous cycles. Bitcoin is very much immune to this kind of volatility. It has dropped to 50% previously, number of times. In fact, it has dropped even more than 50%. How much it has dropped previously? It has dropped more than 70% from its all-time high. So then the question really comes in, what is that 70% drop will look like if it falls now from its all-time high to that particular price level? That particular price level of 70,000 drop in terms of a Bitcoin price from its all-time high would bring the price in around that $37,000 per Bitcoin. Let that sink in. I mean, can you imagine an asset class which was trading around 125,000 to 126,000 per Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden it begins to trade at 37,000? I mean, you need a lot of confidence if it drops to that particular level. Because if you think that the headlines are negative now, headlines are going to be totally negative when it will touch that 37,000, which is, of course, a possibility in terms of the price level. The range that it would be important to look at would be 37,000 to 42,000. But here is the important question. The important question really now is, okay, look, let's not go beyond that one. We are 50% low in terms of our high price. Is this an opportunity at the current level? And the short answer to that one is yes, certainly it is an opportunity at the current price level at 67,000, because we still continue to believe that the prices will move higher. Prices will retouch its all-time high, whether it is going to be in the next bull cycle, which, the 4-year cycle brings it to the 2029, and then by that time the price will touch 250,000. So if you're buying it at a 66,000, 67,000 as of now, it certainly makes sense. But then, can you wait and can you buy a much lower price? And then that really brings a question, well, will it really are you confident that the price will actually go down to 42,000 and or towards that particular level? No, my confidence is not that well maintained in the market that it will reach to that level. But I would certainly think that anything between 50,000 to 55,000 or 50,000 to 60,000 or even early 60,000 represents a good opportunity to buy, because I think 58,000 to 62,000 is a very, very good opportunity. And then there are still good chances in terms of the prices to continue to move lower. And then I think it will move lower to that point. But at the same time, at the current level, there is an opportunity to buy. We are not going to fish the exact bottom. No one knows where the exact bottom of for this particular thing is. It is always difficult to think like that. So you can only think from a perspective of being strategic and then plan your position. So if you wanted to buy, let's say that if someone is looking to buy, or if I'm looking to buy one Bitcoin, right? So I would buy a small portion of that Bitcoin at current prices, because it is certainly a huge discount. There's no doubt about that one. I mean, like 127,000, if you're ready to buy Bitcoin at 127,000,